Welcome students to Grow with Biology. Today we'll continue with the lectures of cell biology. Today's topic is nucleus. Now we have some topics of a nucleus and the transport of proteins through the nucleus. This video only focus on the diagrams which is required to study about the structure of nucleus, function of nucleus and the transport of nucleus. So for those students who are in masters and requires the diagrammatic notes, they can follow this well and draw the diagrams in your copies and makes the notes. So this is the first diagram which we are coming across. This is the diagram of a nucleus. Now when you look at the diagram, you find an outer membrane and inner membrane mentioned at the top. So outer membrane and inner membrane make this nucleus a double layered structure. So it is having a two layer structures, and in between the layer there is a perinuclear space. With the outer surface or the outer membrane of nucleus, there is continuation of smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So the outer membrane is in continuation with the smooth endoplasmic reticulum or the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Inside the nucleus, there is a nucleoplasm, which is to it specific regions are nucleolus. There are some regions where chromatin is concentrated. There is a nuclear lamina, nuclear pore complex, and the ribosomes are present on the endoplasmic reticulum. So this is the diagram of nucleus in the nucleus, the ultrastructure. Now, when we talk about the nucleus, we knew that the nucleus has nuclear lamina. So, this is the protein known as lamin protein, which is present in the nuclear lamina, which gives the structural support. Now, this lamin proteins are made up of 60 to 80 kilodaltons of protein. They are intermediate filaments. So, first a lamin polypeptide will join to another lamin polypeptide head to tail association to form a dimer. Then these dimer will join to form polymer by side association and then to form the higher order structure. Basically, this increase in complexity will help to give the nuclear membrane a basic support. There are lamin proteins. These lamins are protein with the lipids which are formed in the post-translational modification. The next comes the nucleolus. Now, when we talk about the nucleus in the inner regions of the nucleus, we find that there are some regions where only the chromosomes are concentrated, whereas some regions are there where there is no constructions of the nuclear chromosomes. So inside the nuclear envelope, when we talk about the nucleoplasm, there are some regions which has in chromosomal territories, and there are some regions that is known as interchromosomal domain. Now this structures represents the nuclear pore. Now when we talk about nuclear pore, we know that nuclear pore has a diameter of 120 nanometer and a molar mass of 125 million daltons. Now it has 30 different proteins, and which is 30 times the size of a ribosome. And this protein has a protein known as porins or nucleoporins, and this has a multiple phenylglycine lipids. So it is also known as FC proteins. Now if you look at the structure, it has 8 spokes, and the outer side is the cytoplasm, and the lower portion is the nuclear matrix. So we have chromatins, we have the nuclear channels, and we have some proteins like LBR and emirin, which helps in binding of the lamina proteins, that is the lamins, to the chromosomes. This is the overview of the structure. This diagram you can draw in your exams, which is showing the only the nuclear pore complex, which has cytoplasmic filament. In inner side we have four spokes and a nuclear basket. Through this nuclear basket the molecules or the proteins will move. There are spokes like assemblies, the outer membrane and the inner membrane, and there is cytoplasmic rim on the outer side and nuclear ring on the inner side of the nucleus. Next, when we talk about transportation, we knew that from nucleus there are some small molecules which can easily diffuse. But there at the same time there are some proteins which can't diffuse. There are RNA molecules that cannot diffuse, and so that needs energy. So in nucleus we find two types of transport system. One is passive transport, another is active transport. So for transport systems, for the energy dependent transport, that is active transport, we require some molecules or protein channels. Now when we talk about some protein has to move inside the nucleus, then it requires a signal in the protein that is known as nuclear localization signal. That signal is mentioned here. If suppose there is one protein known as T antigen, now it has the signal that is the NLS sequence as proline 3 lysine 1 arginine, then again lysine and valine. This proline, lysine, arginine, lysine, valine will help that protein to migrate inside the nucleus. Another example is in which is found in nucleoplasmin, where there is bipartite system. Now what is this bipartite system? Bipartite system of a nuclear localization system is that type of mechanism where the entire signal is divided into two parts. First part here it has lysine and arginine, and then the second part has 4 lysine in continuation. So this in between these two there are 10 amino acids. Now this 10 amino acid is required to make the difference in their locations of the NLS sequence, and if there is any change in the amino acid in this 10 amino acids, it will not hamper the localization. What is important is lysine arginine and then a gap of 10 amino acid and then 4 lysine. And if there is any change in this 10 amino acid, if it comes to 8 or 15, then this will not act as a nuclear localization signal. Next is this diagram represents that while we are talking about transfer of proteins from inside to outside, we required one protein known as RAN protein. Now what is this RAN protein? RAN will regulate the movement of the macromolecules. It is a GTP binding protein. So we can see that RAN with GTP will help in RAN is present outside the cytoplasm, and this RAN GTP will convert to RAN GDP with the help of RAN gap. Now what is this RAN gap? RAN gap is GTPase activating protein. So it will break down the GTP and convert it into GTP. So RAN gap will convert RAN GTP to GTP, whereas inside the nucleus that RAN GTP will be converted with RAN GEF, that is RAN guanine nucleotide exchange factor, to GDP and GTP. So this is the exchange. Because RAN is a GTP binding protein, so the transfer of molecules depends on the state at which the RAN is. RAN, if it is either it is attached with GTP or it depends on the attachment of GDP. Now this is the actual transport of the molecule. Now I have told that RAN GTP is required for the transport. Now if RAN GTP is present inside the nucleus, then only important protein can bind to it. Moreover, important protein is required to move out to take the protein from the cytoplasm and again import it back to the nucleus. But for this, important protein has to move outside the cytoplasm. But movement of important to cytoplasm can only be possible if there is GTP, RAN GTP. So once in the nucleus, the important protein bind to RAN GTP. It is traveling outside. You can see the right side nuclear pore channel. It has moved outside, and in the cytoplasm side, it has RAN GTP. RAN gap, and this RAN gap will convert RAN GTP to GDP, and important is now free. Now important will recognize the NLS sequence present in the cargo proteins and then will attach to it, and then only important can get back to the nucleus. So important can enter the nucleus, but moving out of the nucleus requires GTP.
Next is exportin. Exportin is present in the cytoplasm and it's required for export any of the proteins from the nucleus towards outside. Now for this, exportin has to get imported inside the nucleus, but exportin randomly can move freely to inside the nucleus, but to exportin there must bind a cargo protein which has NES site. Now NES is for nuclear export signal. Whenever any protein has to be imported inside, then it should have nuclear localization sequence, and when the protein has to move outside, then should have nuclear export signal. Nuclear export signal containing protein is known as cargo protein. It will bind to exportin in the presence of RAN GTP, and then RAN GTP will easily move out. And the outer side of in the cytoplasmic side of the nucleus, there is presence of RAN gap, that is GTPase activating protein. It will degrade the GTP and it will release the cargo protein and free the exportin, which is again free for recycling. Hope this will help you. Thank you and stay tuned for the next update.